Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahusha, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahusha, Bahasham, Rekakodash. Double honor to the apostles, the elders, salutations to you, sincere brothers, teaching in truth and in sincerity. This lesson will be entitled, The Great City is Broke. My source, rt.com, and this article is entitled, U.S. is Broke. It's a huge bubble, which means illusion, economy completely supported by debt, says Peter Schiff. This article was published on the 17th of November, 2020, and it states, one of the doctors advising Joe Biden on the coronavirus has said the U.S. needs to impose a complete lockdown for 4 to 6 weeks, as the government can just pay everybody. Peter Schiff says such a proposal is ridiculous. Shutting down the economy for 4 to 6 weeks, according to this guy, would really let us jumpstart the economy because we really eradicate the disease, even though there's really no proof that a lockdown is really going to do anything, Schiff said on his podcast. But what this genius is proposing is that, well, it's not really going to hurt the economy because according to this guy, I guess he's not just a COVID advisor. I guess he's an economic advisor too. But what he's saying is we'll just have a federal government pay everybody. According to Schiff, this is the type of nonsense that actually gets discussed now because everybody thinks, well, it doesn't matter because the federal government is going to pay for it. Now, of course, the federal government doesn't have any money. The federal government is broke. The economists pointed out that the U.S. government just ran a $284 billion deficit in October, which is the highest October budget gap in American history. At the same time, more than 700,000 people filed unemployment claims, according to the latest weekly report issued on November the 12th. If the economy is recovering, why are so many people still losing their jobs? Schiff asked. He explained that all the money printing by the Federal Reserve would do far more damage to the economy than any damage caused by COVID-19. Even if the lockdown ended up somewhat bending the curve and saving some lives, is it really going to be worth the cost? In fact, who knows how many more people may die as a result of not only the lockdown, but of the economic damage done by all the money the Fed has to print to support the lockdown. Talking about the growing debt burden on American retirees, the veteran stockbroker said it's just a sign of a huge bubble economy completely supported by debt. It shows you how weak the economy is, because if we actually had a strong economy, do you think 70 and 80-year-olds would have to go into debt? No. Why are so many older Americans being forced to take on debt? Because they are broke, because they can't afford to survive without the debt. Key point. Now, of course, the federal government doesn't have any money. The federal government is broke. Another point. Talking about the growing debt burden on American retirees, the veteran stockbroker said it's just a sign of a huge bubble economy completely supported by debt. Habakkuk 2:6, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increase that which is not his? How long? Yeah, because everything these Edomites have attained or accomplished, they have murdered, lied for it, and stole. And to him that layeth himself with thick clay. The thick clay, when you examine this term in the Hebrew, is referring to debt. Okay? Through the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, we know Peter Schiff is talking truth, because you can filter his statement within the scripture of Habakkuk 2:6. Okay. So the thick clay is referring to the debt. Keep that in mind. At the same time, more than 700,000 people filed unemployment claimants. It's like it. At the same time, more than 700,000 people filed unemployment claims. And this was as of the 12th of November. If the economy is recovering, why are so many people still losing their jobs? Another point, because if we actually had a strong economy, do you think 70 and 80-year-olds would have to go into debt? No. Why are so many older Americans being forced to take on debt? Because they are broke, because they can't afford to survive without the debt. Ecclesiastes 12:3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble. The keepers of the house is referring to these individuals that run these stock markets, that watch these stock markets, okay? And the strong men, meaning rich men, shall bow themselves, because the time we are approaching, even the rich, the so-called rich, will be affected, okay? And the grinders cease because they are few. And those that look out of the windows be darkened. The grinders will cease, meaning what? People not able to work. Okay? Hence, $700,000 people filed unemployment claims as of the 12th of November. Okay? And those that look out of the windows be darkened, meaning what? No future. Okay, you can't be in a good mood when you have no future. And that brings on what? Depression and anxiety. And depression alone will make a person complete or think about suicide, because their former lifestyle has vanished. And this is the will of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. You so-called Americans, troublesome times are coming. And it's going to hit you before you know it. This is only the beginning. And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of grinding is low, right? Because a lot of people will be affected because of this pandemic which is also designed to destroy the middle class. And if you destroy the middle class, you devastate the economy, because the middle class is the heartbeat of the economy. Okay? And he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, meaning what? Setting your alarm clocks for 4:30, 5 o'clock a.m. so early that you hear the birds chirping outside. Why? Because you're trying to find employment. And all the daughters of music shall be brought low. And that's literal. The great city, which is referring to U.S., is broke. Okay. Lord will, you are edified. Shalom.